In question number 9, the shape above is covered with 5 pieces below. Which piece will cover the dot? Okay, so the shape above is covered with these pieces down here, and we need to figure out which piece exactly will cover the dot. So if you look at the first one here, which one of these can be put at first here? I think E, we can put E here. So if we put E here, we will have this one here. And the second shape that can be put it here, we can put A. So because here we have a diagonal line, so we will have this one here, like this, and this. So A is the correct answer, but let's continue and put all the shapes. So now we will put C here, as shown here. And then we can put D, like this. And lastly, we can put B, like this. So we put all the pieces, and now we are sure that A is the correct answer. Okay, now in question number 10, there are 6 weights of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 kilogram. Mariam puts 5 of them on the scales and puts 1 weight aside. The scales balance. Which weight did she put aside? Okay, at first, let's see the weights that we have. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If we sum all of them, we will obtain 21. So, but we have to exclude one of them. So, if we exclude 1, we will obtain 20. Now, if we divide 20 by 2, so we will obtain 10 by 10. So, let's try and find if we can make each side 10 kilogram. So here for 6 we need 4, and here with 5 we need 3 and 2. Now here we have 10 and here we have 10, and we didn't use the 1 here. So the weight that she put aside is 1, and A is the correct answer. Okay, there is another solution here. So we are going to look for 2 weights here, such that when we add them together, they weigh 1 kilogram more than the weight we are placing here on the other side. So these 2 are already taken, so we have to look at this here, 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. So if we place 2 and 3 here, we will have 5, and here we will, if we put 4, so 5 is bigger than 4 by 1, so this is the second answer, and also we excluded 1, so A is the correct answer. Okay, now in question number 11, Khalid has a 60 centimeter ruler. Unfortunately, some of the markings have faded away. Khalid is able to measure any of the lengths 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60 centimeter using his ruler only once. Which is Khalid's ruler? Okay, let's check the answers and decide which one is Khalid's ruler. So first, in A, we have 10 and 30. So he can measure the 60, he can measure the 10, he can also measure the 20, he can measure the 30, but he cannot measure the 40 and 50, so this one is not the correct answer. Here, he can measure 60, he can measure 20, he can measure 40, but he cannot measure 10 and 50, so also this one is not the correct answer. If we look at C, he can measure 30, 50, 20, and 60, but he cannot measure 10s. Also, he can measure 10 here. So also, but he cannot measure 40. So this one also not correct. Now, if we look at D, he can measure 10, and he can measure 20, and he can measure 60, but he cannot measure 30, and yeah, and he can measure also 40, but he cannot measure 30, so also this one is not the correct answer. Now if we look at E, he can measure 10, and he can measure 30, and he can measure 40, and he can measure here 50, and of course he can measure 60. So he can measure all the the length, so E is the correct answer. In question number 12, there are 7 houses north of road A, 8 houses east of road B, and 5 houses south of road A. How many houses are west of road B? Okay, first let's draw just the road A and see how many houses do we have north and south. So we have 7 north and 5 south. So in general, in total, we have 12 houses. Now if we draw only the road B, and now we have 8 east. So how many houses do we have west in the west? So in total we have 12, so 12 minus 8 is equal to 4, so we have 4 houses west, and A is the correct answer. Okay, now in question number 13, there are 8 cars waiting in a queue for the ferry. Every car contains either 2 or 3 people. There are 19 people in total waiting for the ferry. How many cars contain exactly 2 people? Okay, at first to solve this question, let's assume that all the 8 cars contain 2 people. So 8 cars we will have with 2 people. So 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, 2. So now we have 8 cars. Each one of them contains 2 people. So we will have in total 16 people. But in the question, they are telling us that we have 19 people. So I have to replace 3 2's here with 3. So I will replace this one with 3 and this one with 3 and this one with 3. So now I have in total 19 people, and the condition is satisfied. So here, let's count the cars that contain exactly 2 people. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 cars in total contains exactly 2 people, and D is the correct answer. Okay, now in question number 14, the metro line has 6 stations, A, B, C, D, E, and F. The trains stop at every station. When it reaches one of the 2 end stations, it changes its direction. The train driver started driving at station B, and her first stop was station C. Which station will be her 96th stop? Okay, so at first, the train was here. So this is the 0, the starting point, and move to C, the next station. So this is the first one here, the first movement, and now here D is 2, 3, E is 3, and F is 4. Okay, so now the train will change its direction to here. Now we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and now the train will change again its direction, so we will have here 10. So we need 10 movements to return to the beginning. So each 10 steps the train will go back to the station B. Okay, so after 10 movements, we will be in B again. After 20, also B, 30, B, and so on until we reach for 90. So we will be in B again, B station. And now after 90 movements, we will continue moving. So we have here 90 now, and here 91, 92, 93, 94, and now here we have 95, and here we have 96. So D is the correct answer. Now in question number 15, Hind wants to paint the circles in the picture. She wants to paint any 2 circles connected with a line different colors. What is the smallest number of colors she needs? Okay, let's start by painting the A circle here with red. Now, after we painted this one, we cannot paint C and D with red because they are connected with A. So I will use a different color. Here I can use green. Now I can also paint D with green because it's not connected with C. So I will paint this one with green again. Now I will paint B. So B is not connected with A, so I can paint B again with red. And now if I want to paint E, I cannot use red because it's connected with B, but I can use green color because it's not connected with D or C, so I will paint here with green. Now if I want to paint G, I will use the red color because it's not connected with B or A, but it's connected with E and D, so I cannot use the green. So I will use the red here. Now, if I want to paint F, I cannot use the green and the red because F is connected with G and D and C. So I have to use a different color. So for example, I can use the blue color here and paint F. So at least we need 3 colors to paint all of these circles, and B is the correct answer. Okay, now in question number 16, Sammy walks through the 2-story maze from the entrance to the exit, passing 3 wall stickers. In what order he see them? Okay, so he will start by entering from here, from the entrance, and then he will go through this door to this room, and then he will go up by the stairs to this room here, and then he will cross to this room in the first floor. So the first sticker that he will see is the frog. So if we look at the answers here, so we will have just 2 answers starting with the frog, which is A and E, so these are not correct. Now he will continue and go down by the stairs to here, to this place, and then he will cross this door, go through this door to this room here, and then to this room, and then to this room here. Now he will see the second sticker, which is this one here. So we are sure now that A is the correct answer, but let's continue. Then he will go through this door here to this place, to this room, and then to this room, and then he will go up to the first floor from here, and then he will continue going like this here, and then he will see the third sticker, which is this one, the shark, and then he will continue until he will reach the exit. So A is the correct answer.